Hi everyone, welcome back to Think and Speak English. I'm Adam, and I am so happy you're here with us today.
And I'm Julia. This is episode 5, and oh my goodness, this is a really special one. Whether you're on a bus, cooking dinner, walking your dog, or just relaxing on your couch, welcome, you're part of this conversation now.
That's right, and let me tell you why this episode is so special. This is our final B1 episode, can you believe it? We've come through 4 episodes together already. 4. That's incredible.
It really is. If you've been with us from episode 1, you should feel so proud of yourself right now. Seriously. You started with daily life conversations, then moved into expressing feelings, then small talk, then storytelling, and now here we are.
Today's topic is expressing daily opinions in English. This is something we all do every single day in every language. We share what we think, what we like, what we don't like, what we prefer.
And this episode is also a bridge to B2. So we're going to start with comfortable B1 language, the kind you already know and love. And by the end, we'll stretch just a little bit into B2 territory to get you ready for episode 6.
Episode 6 is called Polite Disagreement Without Conflict, and it's the beginning of B2. So today, we're building the foundation for that.
All right, let's start with something simple. Adam, do you like mornings?
Honestly, not really. I'm not a morning person. I prefer evenings. Everything feels calmer at night. What about you, Julia?
I actually love mornings. I love waking up early, having coffee, hearing the birds. It makes me feel so alive.
See, we have different opinions, and that's completely fine. That little exchange we just had, that's exactly what today is about. Sharing opinions in a simple, natural, friendly way.
And notice what we did there. Adam said, not really. And I prefer evenings. I said, I actually love mornings. Nobody got upset. Nobody argued. We just shared.
That's the goal for today. Let's talk about why opinions matter, even the small, everyday ones. Julia, why do you think this is important for English learners?
Great question. I think many learners focus on grammar and vocabulary, which is wonderful, of course. But real conversation isn't just about making correct sentences. It's about saying what you actually think and feel.
Exactly. If someone asks you, do you like this restaurant? And you just say, yes, it's good. That's fine. But if you can say, I really like it. The food is fresh and I love the atmosphere. Now you sound like a real speaker. You sound like yourself.
Your personality comes through, and that's what makes conversation interesting.
So today, we're going to give you lots of phrases, lots of examples, and lots of practice. Ready?
Let's do this.
All right, part 1. The basics, simple opinion phrases. These are your best friends at B1 level. Julia, let's go through them.
Okay, the first one, and probably the most common, is I think this movie is great. I think we should leave early. I think coffee tastes better with milk.
I think is so useful because it's clear. It's polite, and it tells people this is your personal view, not a fact.
Exactly. The next one is, I feel like this one is a little softer. I feel like we need a break. I feel like this is too expensive. I feel like it's going to rain today.
I feel like is great when you're not totally sure or when you want to sound gentle.
Then we have for me. For me, summer is the best season. For me, this restaurant is too noisy. For me, reading is more relaxing than watching TV.
I love for me because it makes it very clear that this is your personal experience. You're not saying everyone should agree with you. You're just saying, this is how I see it.
That's such an important point. When you start your sentence with for me, people immediately understand that you respect their opinion too.
Okay, next phrase, in my opinion. This one sounds a tiny bit more formal, but it's still very natural. In my opinion, this is a good plan. In my opinion, we should wait.
You might hear this one more in work situations or slightly more serious conversations, but it's perfectly fine to use it with friends too.
And then we have, I believe. I believe education is important. I believe things will get better. This one feels a bit stronger, a bit more serious.
Yes, I believe usually goes with bigger topics like values, life choices, or important ideas. You probably wouldn't say, I believe pizza is delicious. That sounds a little too dramatic.
Ha! That's true. Although, I do believe pizza is delicious.
Fair enough, Adam.
Alright, so those are our 5 basic opinion starters. Let's list them one more time. Number 1, I think. Number 2, I feel like. Number 3 for me. Number 4, in my opinion. Number 5, I believe.
Write those down if you can, or just listen to them again later. These 5 phrases will carry you through so many conversations.
Now, let's talk about something really interesting. Opinion strength. Not all opinions need to be the same level. Sometimes you feel strongly, sometimes you're not sure, and sometimes you're somewhere in the middle.
This is so important. Let's look at 3 levels: soft, medium, and strong.
Soft opinions are when you're not totally sure, or when you want to be very gentle. Here are some phrases. I'm not sure, but I think maybe it might be nice to. I kind of feel like.
For example, someone asks you, should we go to the beach tomorrow? And you could say, I'm not sure, but I think maybe we should check the weather first. That's very soft and careful.
Another soft one, it could be interesting. Or, that might work. These are not strong at all. They leave lots of room for other people to share their ideas too.
Now, medium opinions. These are your everyday comfortable opinions. I think this is a good idea. I like this one better. I'd prefer to do something else. I'm not a big fan of that.
Medium opinions are what we use most of the time. They're clear, they're honest, but they're not aggressive. I'd prefer is one of my favorites. It's so useful. I'd prefer to stay home tonight. I'd prefer the blue one.
And I'm not a big fan is a wonderful phrase. Instead of saying I don't like this, which can sound a bit blunt, you say I'm not a big fan of this, and it sounds much more natural and friendly.
Now, strong opinions. Be careful with these. They're useful, but you need to know when to use them. I really think we should do this. I strongly believe this is wrong. I'm absolutely sure about this. There's no doubt in my mind.
Strong opinions are fine when the topic is important to you, or when someone specifically asks for your honest opinion. But if you use strong language all the time, people might feel like you're not open to their ideas.
That's a great point. Balance is everything. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're choosing a restaurant with friends. Soft version, maybe we could try the Italian place. It could be nice. Medium version, I think the Italian place is really good. I'd prefer to go there. Strong version, we absolutely have to go to the Italian place. It's the best restaurant in town.
See the difference? All 3 express the same basic opinion. I want to go to the Italian restaurant, but the energy and the impact are completely different.
And here's a tip. In most daily conversations, medium is your sweet spot. It's confident enough that people take you seriously, but gentle enough that you sound friendly and approachable.
Perfect advice. Now let's practice with some real topics. Adam, I'm going to ask you some everyday questions and you share your opinion. Then we'll flip. Listeners, try to answer in your head before we do. Ready?
Love it. Let's go.
Okay, first question. What do you think about working from home?
For me, working from home is great, but only sometimes. I like the quiet and I like being comfortable, but I also think you need to see people sometimes. So I'd say a mix is best. Maybe 2 days at home and 3 in the office.
Nice. That was a really balanced opinion. You used for me at the start, and I'd say near the end. Very natural.
Thanks. Okay, your turn. Julia, what do you think about social media?
I think social media can be really useful, especially for learning English, actually, but I feel like too much of it is not healthy. For me, I try to limit my time. Maybe 30 minutes a day. I think that's enough.
Great answer. You used I think, I feel like, and for me, all in one response. That's beautiful.
Listeners, did you notice that? You can combine these phrases in the same response. You don't have to choose just one.
Let's do a few more, Julia. What's your opinion on learning English with podcasts?
Oh, I love this question. I think podcasts are one of the best ways to improve your English. You hear natural speech, you learn new phrases, and you can listen anywhere. In my opinion, it's even better than textbooks sometimes because you hear how real people talk.
I completely agree with that one. And here's a nice phrase Julia just used, I completely agree. When someone shares an opinion and you feel the same way, you can say, I agree, I completely agree, I think so too, or that's exactly how I feel.
Oh yes, let's talk about agreeing. This is a big part of sharing opinions because conversations aren't monologues. You react to what other people say.
Right, so here are some natural ways to agree. The simple ones, I agree, me too, same here, exactly.
Then slightly more expressive ones. That's a great point. I feel the same way, you're so right. I was thinking the same thing.
And then the enthusiastic ones. Absolutely, 100%, I couldn't agree more. Yes, that's exactly what I think.
Listeners, try using these. When you watch a YouTube video and the person says something you agree with, pause and say one of these phrases out loud. Practice making it automatic.
Now, here's the slightly tricky part. What if you don't agree? What if someone shares an opinion and you think differently?
This is where it gets interesting, and this is actually the bridge to our B2 content. At B1, we're going to give you some gentle ways to disagree. At B2 in episode 6, we'll go much deeper into this.
So let's start with the basics. The number one rule of disagreeing politely in English is acknowledge the other person first, then share your view.
Yes, don't just say, no, you're wrong. That shuts the conversation down immediately.
Let me give you an example. Imagine your friend says, I think summer is the best season, and you prefer winter. Don't say, no, summer is terrible. Instead, say, I see why you like summer, but for me, winter is actually better. I love the cold weather and the cozy feeling.
So much better. You showed respect, you showed that you listened, and then you shared your honest opinion. That's the magic formula.
Let me repeat that formula because it's really important. Step 1, show you heard them. Step 2, use a soft transition like but or however. Step 3, share your own opinion.
And here's a bonus tip. If you really disagree strongly, you can soften it by saying, I might be wrong, but I think, or I don't know if everyone would agree with me, but I feel like.
Those are wonderful. They show humility, and people are much more likely to listen to your opinion when you say it that way.
All right, let's do a role play. I think this will be really fun and really useful. We're going to pretend we're two friends having coffee and talking about different topics. Listeners, pay attention to the phrases we use. Ready, Adam?
Ready. Let's go.
Okay, situation 1. Two friends talking about a movie they watched together. Adam, you liked it? I didn't.
So, what did you think of the movie last night?
To be honest, I wasn't a big fan. I thought the story was a bit slow. What about you?
Really? I actually enjoyed it. I thought the characters were interesting, and the ending surprised me.
I see what you mean about the characters. They were good. But for me, the first hour was just too slow. I almost fell asleep.
Ha! Fair enough. I guess I like slow movies more than you do.
I guess so, but the music was beautiful. I think we can agree on that.
Definitely. The music was amazing.
Okay, great. Let's break that down. Listeners, did you hear the phrases we used? I said to be honest, which is a nice way to introduce an opinion that might be different from what the other person expects. I also said I wasn't a big fan, which is softer than I didn't like it.
And I said, I actually enjoyed it. The word actually is useful when your opinion is different from what someone else just said. It's a gentle way to show contrast.
Then I acknowledged Adam's point by saying, I see what you mean about the characters. That's the golden rule. Show the other person you heard them.
And at the end, Julia found common ground. The music was beautiful. I think we can agree on that. Finding something you both agree on is a wonderful way to keep a conversation friendly.
All right, situation 2. Two coworkers talking about lunch options.
Hey Julia, where should we eat today? I'm thinking maybe the new sushi place.
Oh, I'm not sure about sushi today. I feel like something warm, maybe soup or pasta. What do you think?
Pasta sounds good too. Actually, is there a good Italian place near here?
I think there's one on the corner. I heard it's really nice.
Great, let's try that. I'm in the mood for something new anyway.
Perfect.
Okay, let's notice what happened there. Julia didn't say, no, I don't want sushi. She said, I'm not sure about sushi today, and then she offered an alternative. I feel like something warm.
Yes. When you disagree with a suggestion, it's always better to offer another option instead of just saying no. It keeps the conversation moving forward.
And I was flexible. I said, pasta sounds good too. Actually, being open to other ideas makes conversation so much smoother.
Exactly. Conversations about opinions are not battles, they're collaborations. You're working together to understand each other, or in this case, to find a nice place to eat.
All right, situation 3. This one's a bit more personal. Two friends talking about life choices.
So, Adam, I heard you're thinking about changing jobs. Is that true?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot. I feel like I need something new, something more creative. I've been at my company for 5 years and I think it might be time for a change.
That's a big decision. I think it's brave that you're considering it, but can I be honest with you?
Of course.
I think maybe you should wait a little bit. The economy is a bit uncertain right now, and I feel like having a stable job is really valuable. But that's just my opinion. You know your situation better than I do.
I appreciate you saying that. I think you have a good point about the economy. I'm not going to rush into anything. I just want to keep my options open.
That sounds really wise. Whatever you decide, I'm sure it'll work out.
Thank you, Julia. That means a lot.
Okay, let's break this one down. This was a more serious conversation, right? So the language was a little more careful and thoughtful.
Yes. Julia asked, can I be honest with you? That's a beautiful phrase. It prepares the other person for an opinion they might not expect.
And I made sure to say, but that's just my opinion. You know your situation better than I do. This is so important when giving opinions about someone else's personal life. You want to share your view without being pushy.
And I showed that I was open to her opinion by saying, I think you have a good point. Even though my view was different, I acknowledged her perspective.
That's mature, respectful communication. And honestly, that's what a lot of people, even native speakers, struggle with. So if you can do this in English, you're doing something really special.
Now let's talk about some common topics where you'll need to express opinions. This is practical stuff you can use every day.
Topic 1. Food. This is probably the most common opinion topic in any language.
Right, here are some useful phrases about food opinions. I really like this. It's delicious. This is not bad, but it could use more salt. I'm not a big fan of spicy food. For me, homemade food is always better than restaurant food. I think this is the best pizza I've ever had.
And when someone offers you food you don't like, instead of saying, I don't like this, you can say, it's not really my thing. Or, I appreciate it, but I think I'll pass on this one.
It's not really my thing is such a useful phrase, by the way. You can use it for food, music, movies, hobbies, anything.
Topic 2. Weather and seasons.
Oh, this is such a common small talk topic, especially in English-speaking cultures. I love autumn. The colors are beautiful. I'm not a fan of rainy days. They make me feel tired. For me, spring is the best time of year. I think cold weather is nice, but only for a few days.
Topic 3. TV shows and movies. Have you watched that new show? I think it's amazing. I started watching it, but I feel like it's too slow. In my opinion, the book was better than the movie. I loved the acting, but for me, the story wasn't very original.
That last one is great because you're saying something positive and something less positive in the same sentence. I loved the acting, but for me, the story wasn't very original. That's a balanced opinion, and it sounds very thoughtful.
Topic 4. Travel. I think traveling alone is a great experience. For me, beach vacations are the most relaxing. I feel like sometimes it's better to stay in one place longer than to visit many places quickly. In my opinion, the best way to learn about a culture is to eat the local food.
And topic 5, daily routines. I think waking up early gives you more time. For me, exercising in the morning is better than at night. I feel like people don't read enough anymore. I believe spending time in nature is important for your health.
Notice how all of these are just normal, everyday opinions. Nothing dramatic, nothing controversial, just honest thoughts about daily life.
And that's the point. You don't need to have big, important opinions to practice in English. The small, everyday opinions are where real fluency lives.
I love that, Adam. The small opinions are where real fluency lives. That should be on a poster somewhere.
Ha! Maybe we should make merchandise.
Okay, now let's talk about something that many learners struggle with. What do you do when you don't have an opinion? Or when you're not sure?
This is so common. Sometimes someone asks you, "What do you think about this?" And you genuinely don't know, and that's completely okay.
Here are some phrases for when you're not sure. I haven't really thought about it. I'm not sure, I'd need to think about that. I don't have a strong opinion on that. I could go either way. I see both sides honestly.
I could go either way is really good. It means you're okay with both options. Like if someone asks, "Do you want Italian or Mexican food?" and you're happy with both, you can say, "I could go either way."
And I see both sides is perfect when two people are debating and you understand both arguments. It shows that you're thoughtful and open-minded.
Here's another one I like. "I need to learn more about this before I have a strong opinion." This shows intellectual honesty. It's okay to say you don't know enough about something yet.
Absolutely. In fact, that's a sign of intelligence, not weakness. Knowing what you don't know is a strength.
Now, let's talk about some mistakes that learners often make when expressing opinions in English.
Oh, this is really helpful. Mistake number 1, confusing facts and opinions.
Right. There's a big difference between Tokyo is the capital of Japan and Tokyo is the best city in the world. The first one is a fact. The second one is an opinion.
When you present your opinion as a fact, it can sound aggressive or closed-minded. So instead of saying, "This is the best movie ever," try saying, "I think this is the best movie I've ever seen." Adding "I think" makes it clear that it's your personal view.
Mistake number 2, using "I don't like" too directly.
In English, being too direct about negative opinions can sometimes feel uncomfortable, especially with people you don't know well. Instead of "I don't like your idea," try "I'm not sure about that idea." Instead of "I don't like this food," try "This isn't really my thing."
It's not about being dishonest. It's about being kind with your words.
Mistake number 3. Not asking others for their opinions.
This is a big one. A good conversation goes in two directions. If you share your opinion but never ask others what they think, it feels like a lecture, not a conversation.
So remember to use phrases like, "What do you think? How do you feel about it? Do you agree? What's your take on it?" That last one, "What's your take on it?" is slightly more advanced, but it's very natural.
Mistake number 4. Starting too strong.
If you jump into a conversation with "I strongly disagree," or "That's absolutely wrong," people immediately get defensive.
Instead, start softly and build up if needed. Begin with, "I see it a bit differently." Or, "Interesting, I actually think you can always get stronger later if the conversation needs it." But it's very hard to calm down a conversation once you've started too strong.
That's such great advice for life, not just for English.
Now here's a section I'm really excited about. We're going to give you some opinion phrases that are a little more advanced. These are phrases that will help you transition from B1 into B2. Think of them as a preview of what's coming next.
Oh, I love this. Okay, here we go. First, I'd argue that this is a more sophisticated way to introduce your opinion. I'd argue that social media has more benefits than risks.
Next, it seems to me that this is softer than I think, but slightly more formal. It seems to me that people are working harder than ever, but enjoying life less.
Then, the way I see it, this is confident but not aggressive. The way I see it, learning a language is a lifelong journey.
From my perspective, this is similar to for me, but a bit more mature. From my perspective, teamwork is more effective than working alone.
And finally, if you ask me, this one is casual but confident. If you ask me, that was the best decision we could have made.
These phrases are the kind you'll hear in professional conversations, podcasts, news discussions, and academic settings. If you can start using even one or two of these naturally, you're already stepping into B2 territory.
And that's exactly where we're headed. But don't worry, we'll guide you every step of the way.
Now, let's do one more practice conversation. This time, let's make it a group situation. Imagine 3 friends trying to decide what to do on the weekend. Julia, I'll play 2 roles and you play 1, okay?
Wait, you're playing 2 people? This should be interesting.
I'll try my best, okay? Imagine me as Adam and also as a friend named Tom. Julia, you're yourself. Ready?
Ready?
So, what should we do this weekend? I feel like we should do something fun. We've been working so hard lately.
I agree. I think we deserve a break. How about going to the beach?
The beach could be nice, but I heard it might rain on Saturday. What do you think, Julia? Should we still go?
That's a good point. If it rains, the beach won't be fun. Maybe we should have a backup plan? For me, I'd also be happy going to a museum or watching a movie.
Now, as Tom, a museum? I'm not really into museums, to be honest. But a movie sounds great. There's that new action movie everyone's talking about. I hear it's amazing.
Oh, I know which one you mean. I'm not a big fan of action movies usually, but I heard this one has a really good story too. So I'm open to it.
And as Adam, okay, so it sounds like a movie is our best option, especially if the weather is bad. And if it's sunny, we can go to the beach in the morning and catch a movie in the evening.
I love that idea. Best of both worlds.
Then it's a plan.
Okay, let's analyze that conversation. There were so many good opinion phrases in there. I said, I think we deserve a break, which is a clear, medium-strength opinion.
Tom said, I'm not really into museums, which is a soft, polite way to say he doesn't want to go. And Julia said, I'm not a big fan of action movies usually, but I'm open to it. That's so balanced. She shared her honest opinion, but also showed flexibility.
And Adam found a compromise at the end by suggesting both the beach and the movie. That's a really important conversation skill, finding a solution that works for everyone.
In real life, group decisions like this happen all the time. At work, with friends, with family. If you can navigate these conversations in English with opinions and compromises, you're communicating like a real English speaker.
All right, Adam. I think it's time for our reflection section. This is something we love to do because learning isn't just about input. It's also about thinking about what you've learned.
Absolutely. So listeners, let's think together. Today you learned simple opinion phrases like, I think, I feel like, for me, in my opinion, and I believe.
You learned about opinion strength, soft, medium, and strong, and when to use each one.
You learn how to agree naturally with phrases like, I completely agree. Me too, same here, and that's exactly how I feel.
You learned how to disagree politely by acknowledging the other person first and then sharing your view.
You learned phrases for when you don't have an opinion, like I could go either way, and I see both sides.
You learned common mistakes to avoid, like confusing facts with opinions, being too direct with negative opinions, and starting too strong.
And you got a preview of some B2 level opinion phrases like, I'd argue that, it seems to me that, and the way I see it.
That's a lot of learning for one episode. Be proud of yourself.
Now, we always like to give you some homework, but don't worry, it's fun homework.
Yes. Here are 3 challenges for this week. Challenge 1. Every day this week, express at least one opinion in English. It can be to another person, or it can be to yourself. When you're eating, think in English, I think this is really good, or for me, this needs more flavor. When you're watching something, think, I feel like this is interesting, or I'm not a big fan of this.
Challenge 2. Find a friend, a language partner, or even an online community and have a short conversation where you practice agreeing and disagreeing politely. Use the phrases from today. See how it feels.
And challenge 3, the advanced challenge. Try using one of those B2 bridge phrases we taught you. I'd argue that, it seems to me, or the way I see it, just once this week. Write it in a comment, say it in a conversation, or just practice it out loud. Every little step counts.
All right. Now, let's take a moment to look back at our entire B1 journey, because this is the last B1 episode, and I think we should celebrate everything you've learned.
Oh, I love this idea. Let's do a quick recap of all 5 episodes.
Episode 1 was daily life conversations without awkward silence. We learned how to keep conversations going naturally, how to ask follow-up questions, and how to fill those uncomfortable pauses.
Episode 2 was expressing feelings naturally. We talked about how to describe emotions in English beyond just happy and sad. We learned phrases like, I feel overwhelmed, I'm a bit frustrated, and I'm so grateful for this.
Episode 3 was small talk in everyday life. We practiced those light, friendly conversations that happen at work, at the store, with neighbors, and with new people.
Episode 4 was storytelling that people want to listen to. We learned how to tell stories in an engaging way, with a clear beginning, middle, and end, and with details that make people lean in and listen.
And episode 5 today was expressing daily opinions. We learned how to share what we think in a way that's natural, polite, and confident.
Together, these 5 episodes have given you the tools for real, everyday English communication. You can chat, share feelings, make small talk, tell stories, and express opinions. That's incredible.
And here's what I want you to remember. B1 is not basic. B1 is the level where real communication begins. You can do so much at this level. You can travel, make friends, work, study, and live in English. Don't ever think B1 isn't enough. It's the foundation for everything.
That's so beautifully said, Adam. And now, the exciting part. What's next?
B2, and I'm so excited for this.
B2 is where you go from communicating to communicating with depth and nuance. It's where you start to sound not just correct, but articulate.
Episode 6 is called Polite Disagreement Without Conflict. We're going to dive deep into how to express different opinions in professional and personal settings without creating tension.
We'll cover phrases like, I see where you're coming from, but I'd like to offer a different perspective. And that's a valid point, though I wonder if we've considered. These are the kinds of phrases that make people really listen to you.
We'll also practice handling situations where someone disagrees with you, which is just as important as knowing how to disagree yourself.
And then episode 7 is explaining your ideas clearly, which is all about organizing your thoughts so that when you speak, people understand exactly what you mean.
We're also going to cover thinking out loud, participating in professional meetings, and persuasive speaking in the B2 section. Each episode builds on the last.
And then C1 and C2 will take you even further. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Right now, let's celebrate B1.
Yes. Listeners, if you've completed all 5 B1 episodes, take a moment right now to feel good about that. Maybe smile, maybe give yourself a pat on the back. You've done something meaningful.
You've invested time in yourself, in your communication skills, in your future, and that's something to be proud of.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to share something personal. Julia, can I?
Of course.
When I was learning my second language, there was a moment when I realized that having opinions in another language felt strange. In my own language, I knew exactly what I thought and how to say it. But in my second language, I felt like a different person. Quieter, less interesting, less me.
I think so many of our listeners can relate to that.
And here's what I want to say to all of you. You're not less interesting in English. You're not less smart. You're not less you. You're just learning a new way to express who you already are. And every phrase you learn, every opinion you share, every conversation you have, it brings you closer to being fully yourself in English.
That's so true. And the beautiful thing about opinions is that they are uniquely yours. Nobody else has exactly your perspective. So when you share your opinion in English, you're sharing something the world needs to hear.
Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be afraid of not finding the perfect word. Just speak. Share what you think. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes.
And we'll be here with you every step of the way through B2, C1, C2, and beyond.
Speaking of which, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Think and Speak English. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss episode 6.
And if this episode helped you, please share it with someone who's learning English too. Maybe a friend, a classmate, a coworker. Learning together is always more fun.
You can also leave us a comment. We love hearing from you. Tell us, what's an opinion you have in English? About anything. Food, weather, a movie, a song, anything. Practice in the comments.
We read every single comment, and it truly makes our day to hear from our listeners.
All right, Julia, I think it's time to wrap up. Any final thoughts?
Just one. To everyone listening, I think you're doing an amazing job. For me, the best English learners are the ones who show up, who listen, who try, and that's you. You showed up today, you listened, and I know you're going to try. So thank you for being here.
And I believe that every single one of you has the ability to become a confident, natural English speaker. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when, and every time you practice, you bring that moment closer.
Now, before we go, let's do our final phrase practice for this episode. I'm going to say a situation, and you say an opinion phrase out loud. Just try it. Even if you feel silly, try it.
Yes, please do this. It really helps.
Okay, you just tried a new coffee and you think it's really good. What do you say? Pause and say it out loud.
Did you try something like, I think this coffee is really good, or for me, this is the perfect coffee? Anything works.
Next one. Your friend wants to watch a horror movie, but you don't like horror. What do you say? Pause and try.
Maybe something like, I'm not really into horror movies. Could we watch something else? Or horror isn't really my thing, but I'm open to something else.
Last one. Someone at work suggests a new way of doing things. You think it's a great idea. What do you say?
Maybe I think that's a great idea, or I really like that suggestion. I think it could work well.
Wonderful. Even if you just said these in your head, that's practice. Your brain is working in English right now, and that's what matters.
All right, everyone, that's it for episode 5, Expressing Daily Opinions, and that's it for our B1 series. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for trusting us with your learning journey. It's an honor to be part of it.
We'll see you in episode 6, Polite Disagreement Without Conflict. Our first B2 episode. Get ready for a new level of English fluency.
We can't wait. Until then, keep thinking and keep speaking English. Because your opinions matter, your voice matters, and you are making real progress, one episode at a time.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care of yourselves and keep practicing.
Bye. We'll see you next time on Think and Speak English.